welcome to my YouTube channel. In last lecture, I have shown you how to make this add new patient record. Okay, let me show you how actually it is. If you have not seen my previous videos, then watch my previous video. I have shown how to create this and how to code for this. In the last lecture, I have shown you how to create this design, and after that how the save button is working. And today I'm going to show you how to code for add diagnostic information. Let me show how actually it look like. I have already created this project. In that project I'm going to run and show you. So there it is, add diagnostic information. Here you can see this type of pop-up will come when you click on add diagnosis information. I have already added few patients like 1-to-1. Whenever you click write the PID, all the information will be shown here, and needs to add more information with this PID and the rest of the information. The data needs to be saved in this database. Let me show you how to do this today. Okay, so let's begin. If you have not subscribed my YouTube channel, please go and subscribe and hit the bell icon. And please do comment if you need source code. So now what we first need is we need a panel. Okay, so just drag a panel of what size. Let me check the size of previous panel. The previous panel is 632 and 339. 632 and 339, right? Just click on this, go down. Oh, sorry, I forgot. 632 and 339. There we go. I guess I missed something. Let me just copy it and just make sure that one panel overlap exactly same on the second panel. Because if you are not going to do so, then this is going to create trouble for you. Now it's let me overlap exactly. By shifting we can actually overlap it, but I'm facing some issue, I guess. Just extend it. Now it's good. So what we need is first we need a label. Okay, so let me design it. After that, change its name. Okay, what we need is we need to write, search for text and then type adding more information about patient, like this. And after that you can customize it whatever you feel it will look better, like increasing its size or making it bold. I'm not going to change font for it. I'm just going to make it bold. So now it's look good. Adding more information. What we need is one more level, and let's name it PID, that is patient ID. After that, need a text box. Search for text box and drag and drop it here. Okay. Now what we need is we need a grid view, so where we can show the data like this. Let me show you in my completed project. Here it's a grid view. So whenever we going to type the data, the PID, the data should be visible here. So this is actually a grid view. Let me show you how this grid view works and how exactly we are going to do that. So search for grid view, data grid view, drag and drop it, make its size in your way, which way you need actually the size. I'm just making it not large that much. I need few text box and labels. So, first dragging few levels. I need 5 levels so that, okay, there we go, and one more, and I need 3 text box and 2 combo box. Text box, and let me copy this 3 times. In this we can actually copy the text box and other and just paste it to replicate it, and we need 2 combo box. There we go. Just click on this CTRL-C and CTRL-V. Okay. So here we are done with this, and what we need is we need one button to save the data. For that, just need to drag and drop one button here and just go to properties and change its name to save. Okay. Sorry, just making it look proper. Just change its name. Here. Just change its name to symptoms, and this name to diagnosis, and its name to medicine. After that, change its name to what required, and change this text to type of what required, and type of what. So let me add few answers to this. If you want to add something in this combo box, just go and click on this, edit items, and if what is required, then either it will be yes or no. So that's it for this. For editing this type of word, just go there and write type of word. Maybe let me check what actually type of word is I've added in this. I forgot what I have added. General, duo, single. Okay, so let me show you. General, let me change it. Let me make it AC or non AC or none. Okay, so I have added this none because if someone is selected that word required, then no, then type of word is none. Okay, so now what we are going to do is I'm going to uh, write the code for this text box, because whenever we are typing something, it's actually fetching the data from this PID, from the PID and from the database, and then that data is going to be shown on this grid view. Okay, so how we are going to do this? We are going to generate a text change event of this text box. For that, I'm going to just let me generate the text event. Let me going to text change event. For that, just click on this and go to event change and search for text change event. Here it is. Now just double click on this and the text changed event will be generated. I've just double clicked on this, and here you can see text box 1 dot text change event is generated. So now what we need is that we need first we need to store PID, that is patient ID, from the text box to a string. So that I'm going to, let me show how actually it's what we need is from the text box we need that integer value. Okay, so we just need to write text box name is textbox1 dot text. Okay, so it's not going to work because that's the string value and we are storing it in an integer variable. So for that we need to convert this into the string, sorry, into the int formats. For that we just need to write the convert dot to int, and I'm going to make it 32, and after that I just need to put it into the bracket. There we go. So now we have this PID into this variable, and now what we need is we need to make the database connection. For that I'm just going to write the few lines of code which is going to connect the database. First we need is SQL connection. We are need the connection and connection object. I'm going to create this connection object, and after that SQL connection. I just need this curly braces, and what this is, no, it's fine. So now we need is connection dot connection string. Okay, so connection string actually requires the database URL and username and password. Okay, so that I'm going to database source. This database source is actually you have installed this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Here you can see this connect object, and this needs to be copied and paste there. Okay, so let me show you how it's going to work. Just paste it here, just put one more slash, that's it. Okay, so now what we need is we just need to put a comma, semicolon, and after that what is database name. Database is equal to, sorry, I have just done something wrong. Just to make sure that you are not going to make any error in this database, and database, my database name is hospital, as I have told you in the previous video, hospital. And this is actually asking for this password or security, that is you are going to write integrated security is equal to true. Make sure this T should be in the capital letter, and after that semicolon close. Now what we need is, now we have created the connection with the database. Now what we need to fetch the data from this database, that is hospital. Let me show you the database. Okay, so this is my database. I have made multiple databases. Here I have hospital database. In this database I have these tables. In last lecture I have shown you how to make this add patient table. Today I will show you how to make this patient mode to add more fields of data of the patient. Now let's forward. Let me show you how to fetch the data. We need SQL command, and CMD is equal to need SQL command object. I have created the object of SQL command. After that I'm just giving a connection to this command object, that is on. And after that I'm going to write the query. For that I'm using this command object SQL command dot command text. I'm just going to write the command text, that is what we need is all the records from the database from this add patient. I need all this record from the database from add patient. What we need is, we need to write select start from, let me change, add patient. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. You just need to write this select start from add patient where PID is equal to, I'm going to concatenate whatever the user is going to enter here. Okay, so user have entered the value which is going to be stored in this variable. I'm going to assign this variable here. This string concatenation is done in this way by using this plus plus and double quotes, and I need one more double quotes here. So now it's perfectly fine. After that, the data which is coming from the database, we need to store it somewhere. So there I'm going to create SQL data adapter. The data adapter DA, this is the object, and in SQL data adapter I am passing the command. After that I am going to store it in data set. Okay, and now I'm going to just fill it, the data which is I have received, into this data set. Now the data is here in the data set. I can show you like this. Okay, I have executed the program. Here we go. There is a problem. So this data set is not having any value. Actual result set, where it is, this data set is null. I'm just continuing it. Data set is null. So first we need to check is that this actually, we are not able to click more than one number. So that I'm going to first do something for that, because whenever I click the first anything enter in the this text box, it's going to execute it. So how to prevent that? To prevent that, I'm going to check a condition if text box one dot text is not equal to null. Actually it is nothing. Then we are going to execute this value. Okay, and only if this is going to happen like this, then it's going to be execute this. Now start it. Let me add a breakpoint here. 1, 2. It always going to check here, because whenever we enter something, it's going to execute this all, and check for the every entry. So I'm going to just click on this and 1. So here we see for the 1, 2, 1. Let me see what actually it's going, what's wrong with it. Okay. So now I'm going to make one more thing. And I'm just creating this to add a breakpoint because it's not filling the data. So how it's working? When I click something, when I enter something in it, it goes into this PID, and all this all these lines of codes is going to be performed and check that there is no data filled, because there is no data recovered from the database for the PID 1. Okay, so now what we have in PID is 1. Here you can see that, and the string is generated, that is here you can see what is the string is generated. Select star from add patient where PID is equal to 1. But in the database there is no one PID. So when we the data set is empty actually, where we can see it doesn't have any value, but the empty table name is here. So how we are going to do this, let me show you. 1 2 and one more time I'm going to execute it, and 1. So now 1 to 1 is actually in database. So now database needs to be have some value, data set needs to be had some value. Here you can see now we have some data, and what we need now, we are actually fetching the data from the database and it's being stored in this data set. That's what actually I'm checking. So now what we need to do is we need to put this data into the grid view, this grid view. And how this is going to be performed, let me show you. Just you need to write is data grid view 1, that is the design name of this grid view. Let me show this. Design name is data grid view 1. Okay, so whatever you want to do with this grid view, that should be done with the help of this design name. That is data grid view 1 dot data source. Okay, so data source, what is the data source to add? That is data set, this data set, object of this data set dot table. What we need is tables, and please enter the index. So that is 0, first index we want. So let me show you how it actually works. Okay, so now we are going to enter 1 to 1, and here the data is. Okay, now what we need is we need to perform the save button click. Okay, so at the save button click, what we need is these data needs to be saved into the database. But for these, there is no table is created in this database. To create the table, you need to execute this query. Okay, this is giving me a warning because I have already have this table in my database, and just add this. In this I am storing the PID so that finally for viewing all the patient record, all the data, I can use the join operation. I will show it later, but now you just need to execute this query. Okay, and after executing, what we need to do is we need to first let me change some design name for these text boxes and combo boxes. Okay, for that I'm going to do the symptoms name as properties. Let me change its design name so that it make me easy to use. Txt bx symptoms. It's not compulsory you also keep the same name. You can keep it as per your concern. Okay, so I'm just keeping this as txt bx gnosis. Okay, for the next I'm going to just keep it as txt bx. Just put this name in such a way that you can easily remember it, or you can identify it that with this design name or this variable name, this text box is responsible. You are fetching the data from this text box. Okay, so this is combo box. So combo ex word, that is word, and for this I'm going to keep this like, let me combo bx and word type. Okay, so here we go. Now what we need is whenever we need to just click on, whenever we click on the save button, I want to save the data into this database. Okay, so this table actually in this format. Okay, I want this PID, symptoms, diagnosis, medicine, what type is going to be saved in this database. So that we need to generate a click event. Just double click on this to generate a click event. Okay, here what we need is we need to put the score in try catch block because we are going to use the exception catch. Actually, we are going to use SQL query. That's why I'm putting it into a try catch block. So what we first need is we need the data from each of the text and combo fields. For that, I have shown you how to do that. PID is equal to, I am going to convert it into the string, sorry, into the integer from a string to int32, and what we need from the text box is text. Okay, so I have written the wrong name. Make sure you are working with this current pan. Text box 1, its name is text box 1. Be careful with this design name, okay, otherwise your code will not work. Now what we need is a string sympd and txt bx, and that is symptoms, and what we need is text from this symptom box. From this box what we need is text, and I'm storing this into sympd. After that we need such more string, sorry, string diag. Just put whatever variable name you want to. String txt bx medicines, okay, dot text. I need this, and after that what we need is string word. This is the object, and that is a combo box word dot text. I need string word type. Type is equal to combo box word type dot text. Okay, now we need to create the same SQL connection. For that I'm just going to copy this code and I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to make few changes, like this query will not work here. So for that I'm going to write new SQL query, and here we need an insert query. For that, how it's going to write, let me show you. Insert into patient more and values. Patient more is table name, and how we are going to add the values like this, double quotes. Within this double quotes need what is first is PID, and after that put the comma, sorry, after that put this double quotes and double plus and one more because it's a string, so string is going to carry this one more colon, sorry, and what we need is sympd. Make sure that this needs to be in the same format in which format the database is. Firstly, my database contains PID, and after that symptoms, and after that diagnosis, medicine, what type. In the same way, first I am inserting PID, after that inserting symptoms, and after that this is diagnosis, and after that remaining. Let me show you how exactly it works. And after that, need to, I'm just copying it. Okay, and paste it. I'm just going to insert symptoms diag, After that, what I need is DIAG, and after that, medicines. After that, what? After that, what type? Okay. So what we need is just bracket close and this and this. There we go. Make sure that you write the same as I have written here. Okay. So now we go further. So now this is going to insert the data into the database, and in the catch field, what I need is if you are going to enter something wrong value like in PID or in the symptoms, you are going to insert an integer value or something else, any type of exception is going to generate. Then what we need is I'm going to show a message box. Let's show, and what we are going to show is I'm going to show any field is empty or data is in wrong format. I'm going to show this, and after that, if the data is saved successfully and there is no error, then I'm going to show message box dot show data saved. Okay, so let me execute and show this that it's working properly or not. HMS. Okay, let me show how what is actually in this database right now. Patient more. This is the table in which this time data is going to be executed. That is going to be saved. Here we have, and now I'm going to work with this. No, actually not. I'm going to make few changes in this, like this is not coming up. Let me show how this is going to work. Okay, so first of all, what we need is when we click on this panel needs to be hidden. Sorry, this panel needs to be shown, and the behind panel is going to be hidden. Okay, so what is done here, this is now panel 2 dot visible is equal to false. First of all, what we need whenever we click on this add new patient record, this panel needs to be hidden and only panel 1 needs to be visible. For that, I'm going to double click on this, and I have hidden this panel 2 dot visible is equal to false. And what we need is one more thing. Whenever this dashboard is load, panel 2 also needs to be invisible. Okay, so now we are done with this. Now let me just click. Okay, now this is how we are going to save, but we have missed this. Okay, so what we need is whenever we click on this add diagnosis, we need to panel 2, we need one to show this panel. Okay, so true actually. Panel 2 needs to be visible and panel 1 needs to be panel add patient, add diagnosis information. Sorry, this is the wrong. It needs to be false, and I'm just going to, when we enter this button add diagnosis, what we need is panel 1 needs visible is equal to false. Okay, and panel 2 dot visible is equal to true. So now let me execute this. HMS and my password is passed. Now it's working fine. Okay. So let me add few records. Now name is Kunal, address is MP, contact number is 100, very standard contact number. Age is, I guess, 15 years, very small to use the software, and AB positive, any major lady stuff. No, current now child, I'm just keeping patient ID 300. Now this data is going to be shown in this. Okay, so data is saved and click on OK. Now all the data has been cleared. I have shown this in previous video, and after that I'm just going to write the PID 300. Now here PID is shown, all the data I have shown you. Okay, so PID is also visible here. So what I need is on this PID I need to add more information. That symptoms is fever, I guess, normal. Diagnosis, normal BP, that is 120 by 80. Medicines, D. I don't know much more about medicines, but for fever I don't know what to give. Let me give it the cold total. Big section 500, no few names. Vodka, no, and none. And I'm just currently in this patient mode, we only have two rows for this PRA 121, 234. Now I'm going to insert this. Okay, let me show you. I'm just going to insert this normal VP 125 this and just going to click on the save button. Data is saved successful. Okay, so here we go. Now we are going to execute this for one more time. Execute this. Here you see this is already added and the database. Now data is being saved. So let me, it's the code is actually working fine. Let me make it a bit better with this rectangular shaper. Okay, just I've shown this in the last lecture too. It actually makes the boundary for the panel that look more sexier. Now let me start it. That is HMS and fast. Now here we go. This is now the rectangular shaper, and here we go. So what we need, one more thing is you can clear the text box and combo box here whenever you click on the save button. I have shown you how to do that. You just need to just go this, and after the message box is saved, what you need is you need to just what is the text box name is txt px diagnosis dot clear. Just clear the text field txt px medicine dot clear. Just clear the another txt px and symptoms dot clear. And I have told you clear is not going to work on the combo box, so combo box dot word dot reset text. This is a method for resetting the combo box. Okay, now this will clear all the text fields after the entry of the data. And let me clear one more, the PID. For that, text box 1 dot clear, sorry. Okay, so now it's working perfectly, and I have shown you how to do that. Okay, so let me show. There we go. Now everything is visible. Now you can change it like this. Okay, so in the today lecture I have done for the today lecture. In the next lecture I am going to show you. Let me show what I'm going to show you in the next lecture. The next lecture I'm going to show you with the full history of patient, like the all records from this add new patient got these all data and this symptoms and diagnostic in one place like this. Here you can see all the data is shown here, like Kunal. They currently now have added this in the database in this project, and this hospital information. The next video I'm going to do the task for all with this too. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and please like and share as much as you can. Thanks for watching.